Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, motorsport fans around the world, and welcome back. After months of anticipation, fierce off-season preparation and lineup shuffles, the moment has finally arrived. MSC F1 is back. This is round 1 of season 6 of the MSC F1 Fanatec Podium Series, and we're kicking off in spectacular style right here at the iconic Albert Park circuit in Melbourne, Australia. Tonight the engines roll louder, the pressure is higher, and the championship dream begins anew. It's the season opener, and every driver on this grid knows you don't win the title today, but you can certainly set the tone for the season to come. Australia's street circuit is fast, technical and unforgiving. With its high-speed chicanes, tight corners and every changing grip levels, it's the perfect test to see who's ready, who's mentally sharp and who's dares to take the first swing in the title fight. The lineup is stacked, the teams are fired up and the fans are louder than ever. This is more than just a race. This is the start of a new era in MSC F1. So buckle up, hold your breath and get ready, because season 6 of the MSC F1 Fanatec Podium Series starts right now. I do apologize for the problems in the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. I see the first drivers have set their time already. A Moomer Rider with a 1:17.056 on a set of mediums. Crytek with a 1:17.926 on a set of softs. Angry Badger, same on a set of softs with a 1:18.440. And Lil Drips on a set of softs with a 1:19.754. Let's make some changes to full circuit. Ooh, there comes F7R Nick with a 1:16.818 on a set of mediums. Fastest man on track for now in qualifying 1 here in Australia. Kurt Maestro on a set of mediums with a 1:17.993. MJ Ryan coming next across the line. MJ Ryan across the line and goes to a P3 with a 1:17.511 in front of his teammate Crytek. Goblin did invalidate it. Drivers on track, busy with a hot lap. Goblin, Adveer and Wellsponge. Alfie and Mirko will be joining them currently in an out lap. Same for Cam McKenzie and Adams. First one coming across the line is Wellsponge as he sets a purple sector 2. Coming into turn 13, turn 14, goes Wellsponge on the straights, across the line goes Wellsponge, and Wellsponge goes to a P3 with a 1:17.056 on a set of softs. Next one is gonna be Adveer. Adveer across the line goes to a P5 with a 1:17.697. Adams into sector 3, turn 13 and turn 14 onto the straights. Across the line goes Adams. And Adams takes a P8 for now with a 1:18.435. Cam McKenzie teammate of Adams. As Mirko goes to a P1 with a 1:16.098. What a great lap from the Ferrari man. Mirko ZH. Now we miss Cam McKenzie. Cam McKenzie not his best lap with a 1:13.168 on P13. Goes there onto the grass in the gravel. Makes a big braking mistake there for Cam McKenzie. So who we don't have yet, Jax. Another lap. Ali still in the pits. Tom Hackett. Known as a man with great pace. As you can see, purple sector 1 for Tom Hackett. On a set of softs. Tom Hackett in the Mercedes. On to turn 11. Turn 12. Turn 13 and turn 14 onto the straight. Tom Hackett across the line. And goes to a P4 with a 1:16.992. So Jack's starting with his hot lap at the moment. So is our turn. Little tweak on the rears there in that corner before. Burning that battery here. On to turn 11. Turn 12, 13 and 14. On to the straight. Here comes Jack in the Williams. What is he gonna do? Here in qualifying 1 in Australia, and he goes to a P7 behind his teammate Alfie with a 1:17.201 and Jax with a 1:17.379. Very close times for the two men in the Williams. As we said, Arton was coming after, but he went into the pits. Ali. We missed Ali, and he went to a 1:17.782. Puts himself for now to a P11. 3 drivers at risk here in qualifying 1 to be kicked out. Goblin, first one, coming across the line later. As there's a yellow in sector 3. Sector 2 and 3, and now 1, 2 and 3. Mirko leaves the session. 1:16.0 will be enough to go through to qualifying 2, as we are watching Goblin. On the border of elimination zone. Here goes Goblin to a P13 on mediums with a 1:17.847. 5 laps old mediums for Goblin. Adveer currently on a 1:17.697. Can he improve this lap? He does, and it goes to a P7 right behind his teammate Wellsponge. Red Bull coming across the line next. That's gonna be Cam McKenzie with a 1:30 currently standing. P17 and goes into his hot lap. I do apologize. So Arten still in an out lap. Angry Badger invalidated. Goblin saving his battery, still 100%, so probably going into the pits for a fresh pair of softs. MJ Ryan burning his battery. Whoa, a bit braking mistake there. 2 Aston Martins on a P10 and P11. MJ Ryan on P10, but what can he do now? MJ Ryan across the line and goes to... MJ Ryan goes to a P7 with a 1:17.134. Great lap from MJ Ryan there, as now F7R Nick Jack is also left the session. Moomin Rider improves his lap time and goes to a 1:16.426. Moomin Rider looked very strong in the preseason testing races. So we expect a lot from him this season. This season is gonna have 13 rounds. Aston Martin, that is going to be Crytek. What can do Crytek? Currently on P12 and goes to a P11, 1 spot up. Next up in line is going to be Red Bull. That was Adams. 1 minute on the clock left. What can these guys do? Final lap for Adams. There's only one who can improve behind him is Lil Drips. So if you want to be sure of that spot in qualifying session 2, he needs to improve his lap time now. Into turn 10, 9 and 10, nicely taken from Adams here. 1:18.221 is standing for Adams. Has this time set it on a set of mediums. Now he's on a set of softs, so what can he do? And the last turn, turn 14, on to the straights. Across the finish line it goes Adams, and Adams sets it on a stays P15. Well, that's hoping for Adams that Lil Drips will not make an improvement there. Gonna be a big improvement though, 2 seconds, but no, Lil Drips invalidated, so Adams is through to qualifying 2. Very close, very close for Adams. drivers we will not see back in qualifying 2 will be Angry Badger, Lil Drips and Cam McKenzie. So Mirko on P1 in the Ferrari, far ahead with a 1:16.098. 4 tenths behind him, Moomin Rider in the McLaren. Tom Hackett on P3 in the Mercedes with a 1:16.618. Kurt Maestro in the Alpine on a P4. F7R Nikia in the Hayes in a P5. Alfie on P6 in the Williams. P7 Will Sponge Red Bull. MJ Ryan on P8. P9 Edveer. P10 Jack. P11 Crytek and P12 Arten, the South Africans, and P13 Ale Ale. Goblin on a P14, and on a P15 is Adams, of course. So we are heading into qualifying 2. 15 drivers left. And after this session, we will say goodbye to another 5 drivers. As we're seeing the Ferraris and the Red Bull are preparing themselves for their first run here in Albert Park. Well Sponge, first man on track. So we got 8 drivers currently in an out lap. 7 drivers still in the pits, waiting for clear track. As well, Sponge hits there a bit with the rears on the grass. So we are staying with Well Sponge for the moment, to see what he can do on his first run here in qualifying 2. Nicely taking turn 1. Turn 3. Turn 4. Nicely done so far from Wellsponge. Heading to turn 6, 7. And the long right left. Turn 8. Heading to turn 9 and 10, where he will meet soon someone in the haze. Gonna be Nikia. Turn 12, 13, and the last turn, turn 14, the Wellsponge. Wellsponge across the finish line and goes to P1, of course, with a 1:17.879. Not the best lap as we saw before, 1:16, and I said Mirko again in the 1:16.194 on a set of mediums. By far 1.5 seconds faster, as there comes Tom Hackett on a set of softs with a 1:17.387. Mirko showing some great pace here in Albert Park. Next one is gonna be Adveer and the Aston Martin of Crytek, but first Adveer across the line and goes to a P2 with a 1:71.38, and there comes Crytek sets it on a P4 with a 1:17.565 with a set of mediums. So four drivers so far in the 1:17s. One driver all on a set of mediums in the 1:16s. So we were waiting for Nick. Very quick driver. And still a 1:17.109 on a set of mediums. Mirko still 1 second faster. You can see Mirko did his homework, had a lot of practice, probably looking to his lap time. So next one coming across the line as first is gonna be Goblin. Or is it gonna be Adams? No, it's not gonna be Adams. No, it's gonna be Goblin. MJ Ryan needs to get out of the way there. Still busy with an outlap, so nicely done from him there as we are watching Goblin. On the straights, across the line goes Goblin. And Goblin goes to a P2 and puts himself also in a 1:16 together with Mirko. Goblin on a set of softs and puts a 1:16.891. Alfie coming first, followed by Moomin Rider. Alfie in the Williams, across the line goes Alfie on a set of mediums and puts himself also on a 1:16 with a 1:16.838 on a set of mediums, followed by Moomin Rider on a P2 now in the McLaren on a set of softs with a 1:16.504. Second fastest on track right now. MJ Ryan. MJ Ryan. Last turn on to the straights. MJ Ryan in the Aston Martin. It goes to a P3 and puts himself also in a 1:16. Very close to Moon Rider though. On a P3 with a 1:16.684. Adams. P15 qualifying 1, what he can do now, and stays at P11 with a 1:22.647. Looking to the earlier seasons of MSC F1, Adams has shown some great pace. Always when I saw him on track. But seems like today he cannot get the job done, as he's 3.5 seconds slower as the rest of the field. So we didn't see Arton. Arton also in the 1:16s with a 1:69.76 in the Ferrari. So currently we have 6 drivers in the 1:16s, 6 drivers in the 1:17s, 1 in the 1:18, and Adams in the 1:22. A lot of improvement for Adams. Still possible, as we are now with Jack in the Williams. Jack and Mirko, 2 drivers, still didn't set a lap in qualifying 2. Mirko and Moomin Rider think it's gonna be enough. As Jack goes across the line and goes to a P9 with a 1:17.225. Adams is in the gravel in turn 3. Still able to get that car back to the pits. Kurt Maestro still on an outlap. Tom Hackett, where is Tom Hackett? Is doing a cooling lap. Nicky on an outlap. Advir pushing, burning that battery. Into turn 14, Advir in the Red Bull. Advir goes to a P5 with a 1:16.716 and puts himself between P4 and P5, P6, MJ Ryan and Alfie. As you can see, more and more drivers are reaching that 1:16s. 8 drivers now on track. That's F7R Nick has invalidated Crytek to a P9. 1:17.0. Oh, F7R Nick is on an outlap. Do apologize, did not see that. Well, Sponge starting his hot lap. Kurt Maestro. Coming into the last corner, onto the straights, burning that battery. What is Kurt Maestro gonna do? Can he reach the 1:16s? Yes, he does, with a 1:16.766 and puts himself on P6. Great result for Alpine. P6 and P8 for now. Split it by 1/10 of a second. Crytek going into the pits. So we got a Red Bull coming in. Whoa, almost losing the wheels there. That's not gonna do him any good with this lap time. But still, he has an improvement. On P9 goes Well Sponge. with a 1:16.946. 300ths of a second. Clear from P10 Arten. So this is gonna be a very exciting F7R for sure. Nick for sure is gonna improve his lap time. I know he has it in him. Oh, then he did his first one again. Again validated. That means he's pushing very hard. Arten. Can he get a bit of improvement? So he's going from that P10. No, we can't. Not enough battery to do another run. So Nick still didn't see everything from Nick. So we're staying with him for now. Sets a purple sector 2. So Nick into turn 13 and 14. Nick in the haze. And Nick goes to a P4 with a 1:16.632. What a great lap from Nick. I told you he's gonna do it, and he did it. Puts Arten on elimination zone P11. As qualifying session is over already, so Arten and Krajtak are done. Waiting on Jack and Ale. Adams is in the pits. Won't get an improvement, so that's it for Adams. Alfie goes to a P10 and kicks Wellsponge out. So now all eyes on Jack in the Williams, and he didn't invalidate it. So we're saying goodbye to Wellsponge, Arten, Krajtak, Jack and Adams in qualifying 2 here in Albert Park in Australia for the MSC F1 Fanatec Podium Series. So we have landed in qualifying session 3. 10 drivers left. MJ Ryan, Ali Ali, Tom Hackett, Goblin, Nick, Alfie, Edvir, Mirko, Moomin Rider and Kurt Maestro. MJ Ryan, first man out on track, followed by Tom Hackett. This circuit is asking a lot of your tires. So I'm really excited to see later how it's gonna be with the pit stops. As this is our first race in the game F1 25. So let's get the telemetry data back. MJ Ryan, we're staying with MJ Ryan for his first hot lap, his first run in qualifying 3. 10 minutes on the clock. So we're gonna see who is best here in round 1, as MJ Ryan has already invalidated in turn 1 and 2. So we are switching to Tom Hackett. First man on track to set a time. So gonna be, of course, the fastest man on track. But for how long? Tom Hackett gets some traffic from the people on outlap. Gonna be a bit of dirty air in front of him, but takes a bit of a slipstream as well. So here comes Tom Hackett and goes to 1:59.03. That's the fastest lap set in all qualifying sessions today. So next one coming. No, Edvir is starting his hot lap. So next one is coming. Moonrider did invalidate it. So Alfie to a 1:16.573. Six tenths slower as Tom Hackett. MJ Ryan gonna try it again. Kurt Maestro, oh, we missed Kurt Maestro. Sets himself to a P2 with a 1:16.534. 0.05 of a second faster than Alfie in the Williams. Ooh, and MJ Ryan is round. Once again. First one, he did invalidate it. Second run, oh, and that's a big crash for MJ Ryan and Moomin Rider. That was a really big crash, and MJ Ryan and Moomin Rider are both out in qualifying 3. MJ Ryan and Moomin Rider did not set a lap time, so will be starting on P10 and P9. Edvir puts himself to a P5 with 1:16.688, and Nick comes again on top behind Tom Hackett with a 1:16.174. Next one coming across the line will be Goblin. Not sure if that collision from MG Ryan and Moomin Rider could be avoided, as MG Ryan was literally standing in the middle of the track. Goblin, purple sector 2, although I don't know if that is correct. We had some issues with F124 game, also showing purple sectors, which the drivers actually didn't have. So we're gonna see what Goblin can do. In the Alpine, can he come close to his teammate Kurt Maestro? That would be a very good team performance in round 1 for the Alpines. And here comes Goblin, puts himself to a P5 with a 1:16.611. 1/10 below his teammate Kurt Maestro. So still a good first run in qualifying 3 for the Alpine guys. Mirko, fastest man on track in qualifying 1 and qualifying 2. So we're gonna see a hell of a time for Mirko if he gets the job done in the Scuderia Ferrari. Five minutes on the clock left. Go into the last turn. 40% battery left. And here he goes, burning that battery onto the finish line. And here he goes again, P1 with a 1:15.759. What a great lap once again for Mirko. Puts himself 2/10 clear in front of Tom Hackett. And 3/10 clear of Nick. Ali still didn't set a time, still in the pits. Could have been if he has only one soft left. So Mirko still on track, heading into the pits, as we are waiting now for the rest of the drivers to come out for the last run in qualifying 3 in round 1 of MSC F1. Should be going out at least latest at 2:50, 2:40. Anywhere below that, they won't be able to make it. So Kurt Maestro, first man on track in round 2. So the P4 for Kurt Maestro is already a very good prestation for the Alpine. Hopefully Goblin can take a bit and move his ass up right behind Kurt Maestro. That will give the gentlemen both great points for the Constructor Championship. And that would open the battle between the two Alpines. So more drivers are joining the track now. Everyone out except Goblin. So as we said, Kurt Maestro, first man, starting his hot lap. Here we go, Kurt Maestro. The US Open, heading into turn 3 and 4. Three and 4 and 5. The end of sector 1 and the beginning of sector 2. Turn 6, 7 and 8. Has burned already almost all of his battery. Kurt Maestro. Turn 13 and 14. On to the straights goes Kurt Maestro in his last one for round 1. And stays on a P4. Improves his lap time with a bit, but stays on P4 with a 1:16.340. Next man coming over the finish line is gonna be Ali Ali. Did not set a lap time yet, so where is he gonna go? Ali Ali sets himself to a P8 with a 1:17.004. Adveer, can he get improvement? No, he doesn't. Stays on P7. Goblin invalidated. So then we have... Oh, there goes Mirko. Mirko loses it and hits the wall. Stays on P2. Will not get an improvement, so Tom Hackett is your man. If Goblin invalidated, so Tom Hackett is your pole. And the winner of qualifying 3 in round 1. Tom Hackett will start as first on the Grand Prix of Australia. Followed by Mirko, F7R Nick, Kurt Maestro, Alfie, Goblin, Adveer, Ali Ali and MG Ryan and Moomin Rider. And the two gentlemen who collided each other on the straight. And I'm pretty sure if Mirko did not make that mistake in the last turn, he would have improved his lap time. But it didn't came that far. Tom Hackett is now your man in the Mercedes that will start as first in the Grand Prix of Australia. So as you all know, we have a 5-minute break on the grid. Don't ready up until you get a notification on Discord from one of the admins. So we are starting with a warming up lap. Getting those tire temps up for the perfect race start, the perfect launch. All eyes on Tom Hackett, Mirko and Nick. Great view this. Here we go. Round 1 of MSC F1 here in Albert Park. And it's lights out and away we go. Tom Hackett has a great start. Mirko. All the same start together with Tom Hackett and Nick. Nick has catch Mirko in turn 1. But still next to him. Next to Mirko, and they go. Mirko takes the P2 spot away from Nick. And will now hunt down Tom Hackett. "29 laps in total as Kurt Maestro takes a bit of the curb there. So Ali and MJ Ryan fighting for that P10 spot. Adveer and Goblin, the two Red Bulls now right behind each other on P7 and P8. Adveer and Wells Point, yes, there goes Moomin Rider on the inside of Alfie. Wells Point closing that gap to Adveer as Tom Hackett sets his personal best lap time in 1:25.492. Oh, there goes Adveer! Adveer loses control of his car and falls back to P13. What was looking as a really great result for the two Red Bulls falls now apart, and Adveer can do his best again to make his way up, but it's gonna be very hard for him, that's for sure. Drivers in front want a set of mediums, except Tom Hackett on the hards, so can go longer. So his job for this first run until the pit stop is to stay close to Mirko. Totally missed that. Mirko took that P1 spot from Tom Hackett. I do apologize. As Mirko sets his bestest lap time now with a 1:19.621. Tom Hackett seems to lose a bit of time on Mirko, not too much. Ali already having a time penalty of 3 seconds. Jack and Adveer fighting for position here. As we are switching back to the top of the field. Mirko still on a P1, but Tom Hackett is getting very close. Looking to that rear diffuser of Mirko. He is soon gonna make his attempt on the straights, as DRS will be enabled by race control. Tom Hackett. The US wing is open, but still too far away to make an attempt on Mirko. P1 and P7 staying very close to each other. As you can see the rest of the field, Adams and Adveer. Oh, Adams and Adveer collide. So that's not the best race for Adveer, not the best season start for Adveer. Starting on a P8 right behind Wellsponge. Falls back to a P18 by a double collision. So Tom Hackett has catch Mirko for P1. Nick still looking on the back of the pair. Kurt Maestro has also a very good start in the season opener here in Albert Park and is still on P4. And is reporting himself at the back of Nick. Getting very close though now. Alfie and Moomin Rider and Wellsponge will also come soon in the fight. Kurt Maestro closing that gap on Nick. Look here how close they are. Made a small mistake there. Falls a bit back as Moomin Rider takes Wellsponge. Alfie next to Wellsponge and takes that P6 spot from Wellsponge. So Wellsponge falls 2 places back. As I said, Kurt Maestro too far away to make an attempt here on the straights. With 8 tenths behind Nick, he's not gonna do it. Mirko still 5 tenths behind Tom Hackett, so that gap that stays the same. Do remember that the pace of Mirko will go faster down than the pace of Tom Hackett, as Tom Hackett is on hard tires and Mirko on mediums. So not any close battles on track for the moment. Jack and Ale What really surprised me today is really Adams. Did not expect him on a P14. So we go back. Goblin reporting himself at the back of Wellsponge as Artin gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Is too far away to make an attempt here on the straights, heading to turn 1. Merko still 5/10. Jack and Ale switch positions. Jack up to P11, Ale back to P12. Ale with a 3-second time penalty already in lap 7 of 29. You can see Nick has falling back a lot and is now catched by Kurt Maestro. So Kurt Maestro takes that P3 spot from Nick and is now 3 seconds ahead of the rest of the pair for Merko and Tom Hackett in front. Adams takes Artin here on the inside. And the Red Bull Visa Cash. And the Ferrari for Martin. So Tom Hackett and Merko into a fight. Nick and Kurt Maestro still into a fight. Moomin Rider, Alfie, Wellsponge and Goblin still in a fight for that P5 spot. Krytek, MJ Ryan and Jax also in a fight for that P9 spot. The 2 Aston Martins. Best team result, if they can keep it like this, is gonna be for now the Alpines. P8 and a P3. Followed by the 2 Aston Martins. But still 21 laps to go. So a lot can happen in those 21 laps. MJ Ryan and Krytek. Two teammates. Krytek 3/10 behind MJ Ryan. Will make his attempt to now. No, he will just not make it. Artin and Wellsponge into the pits. So Nick in the haze was on P1, P2, fall back to P4 and is looking at the back of Kurt Maestro. Moomin Rider is getting a bit closer now. So does Alfie, Linda Williams. As Angry Badger gets a 3-second time penalty. That are already 6 drivers on track with a time penalty of 3 seconds in round 10 of the Australia Grand Prix. Nick is getting closer. Here comes Nick. And Nick goes back up to P3 and takes that spot from Kurt Maestro. With the help of DRS, MJ Ryan and Krytek. Switch positions. Did it fair and did it nice. Angry Badger and Octane. Octane into the pits. Here comes Jack, reporting himself at the two Aston Martins. So now the task on Crytek to keep him up. That's gonna be very hard for him if he's gonna get any closer on the straight with the help of DRS. He basically can't do anything there. Kurt Maestro, very close again to Nick. Zartan gets another 3-second time penalty, has a total of 6-second time penalty now. Kurt Maestro, Wells points, set the fastest lap time with a 1:19.496. Very close, Kurt Maestro. Traction mistake from Kurt Maestro, loses a couple of tenths on Nick, but is still in the DRS zone. As you can see what I said, Moomin Rider is closing in and is already on 5.5 seconds behind Kurt Maestro, putting himself in the fight for P3 position for the podium places, as Kurt Maestro makes his attempt now on Nick and is back up to P3. All of this fight for the P3 spot is very good for Moomin Rider. So Alfie and Moomin Rider putting themselves into the fight for P3 podium spot as Nick goes into the pits. Moomin Rider 7 places up, so is Crytek and Jack 12 places up. So Mirko went into the pits for a set of hearts. Goblin and Adams. Adveer and Angry Badger into the pits for a fresh set of mediums. Crytek and MG Ryan once again fighting for that P4 spot. Should not fight too much because then they're opening the door for Jack. Play smart. Take maximum points for the constructors. There goes Crytek. Crytek into the pits with 11 laps of hearts. That's early. So does Moomin Rider. So does Kurt Maestro. So Mirko back up to P4, looking now at the back of Jack and MG Ryan. Taking that P3 spot back. And will soon take that P2 spot back with a fresh set of hearts. MJ Ryan hearts, 12 laps old. Here comes Mirko on the outside. The Ferrari against the Aston Martin. But DRS open and Jack will follow. Jack will follow. So if Aston Martin, the team of Aston Martin played it. Ooh, what happened there? Well, Sponge takes it on the outside. Very less of space, not sure why he did that. If that was a braking mistake or something, I really don't know. tuned in too late there. But if the team of Aston Martin played it very well, I would say. They should take MG Ryan also very soon into the pits. But as I said, I think 11 laps of hard and pitting already is too early. I think that average is around for the medium tire to pit. Fanatec. Is gonna make another 15 laps on a set of mediums. So he has made it himself very hard in the end of this race. So Alfie, Kurt, Maestro, Nick. Nick reporting himself at the back of Goblin. Here comes Nick on the inside. Still next to each other. Very nice fight here as Nick takes the P6 spot from Goblin, and so does Kurt Maestro. Sees the gap and goes directly forward, follows Nick. Nicely done from Kurt Maestro. And there goes MG Ryan. Where he will come. Comes he in front of his teammate Fanatec? No, he will not. Fanatec will take the lead from MG Ryan. So Tom Hackett, 14 laps old hearts, still on the lead with a 17 seconds gap, almost 18 on Mirko. Jax with 6 tenths. 7 tenths behind Wells Punch. Look at this, 4 drivers fighting here for that P7 spot. Alfie and Moomin Rider. Moomin Rider showed some great pace. So he has for sure something left in the tank to show us here in round 1. Nick closing in on Jack. DRS goes open, takes the outside line. And takes back that P4 spot from Jack. Jack still need to go into the pits. So he's gonna fall back to P14, I'm guessing. Goblin and Alfie. As we are switching back for a moment to Nick. Nick making his attempt, but is a bit too far away on Wells Punch. Taking a bit too much on the curb on turn 1. Bit of wheel banging there. Who goes there wide? That is a Kick Sauber, and that is Lil Drips. Nick, here comes Nick. On the outside of Wells Punch. and takes that P3 spot from Wellsponge and is back up to the podiums. Tom Hackett went into the pits. Mirko takes back the P1 spot and has now a gap of 2.3 seconds. Woman Rider closing that gap on Alfie. P5 till P8. Could be still in the fight for podium place on P3. As Wellsponge gets catch by Kurt Maestro. Kurt Maestro up to P4. Wellsponge falls one place down to P5. Woman Rider still looking at the back of Alfie, hoping one of those gentlemen is gonna make a mistake. One big DRS train as there goes Wellsponge back into the pits. There comes Woman Rider, perfect exit in turn 1. Burning their battery, can he get the job done here in turn 3? On the outside, colliding a bit to each other. But still Alfie is on top. Losing a bit of time to Goblin. Adams and Adveer fighting for positions. No, Adveer is into the pits. Fresh pair of mediums. Woman Rider and Alfie. Alfie loses control of the car and is onto the grass. Tuned in too late to see what actually happened there. Not sure if he collided together with Woman Rider or if this was a mistake from Alfie. So with 9 laps to go, 9.9 seconds, almost 10 seconds now behind. He is 10 seconds behind Woman Rider. So his chance for a podium place is done. Alfie now needs to fight to keep that P7 spot. So Tom Hackett closes the gap to Mirko. Reporting himself now at the back of Mirko. Takes the inside line next to each other and takes that P1 spot back from Mirko. Great done from Tom Hackett there, but for how long he can take this? 9 laps still to go. 3 laps old mediums. And we know around lap 9 on those mediums you're gonna start losing pace comparing to the hards. But those hards for Mirko are already 8 laps old, so this is gonna be very exciting to see what will happen here in the front. Krytek and Ale. Mirko will do everything what he has to be on that P1 today. But you can see he's falling a bit away. Can still take a bit back now because of the DRS. But this does not look good for Mirko. Oh, Mirko loses control. He's very lucky there he doesn't lose his front wing there. Does not has any damage there, so he's very lucky, but loses a lot of time to Tom Hackett. Out of the DRS. Moomin Rider and Goblin fighting for P5. 7 laps to go in the Melbourne Grand Prix. Will Sponge and Alfie. Moomin Rider catch Goblin and does it very nicely. As I said, Moomin Rider will make us a surprise today and is up to P5. From P8 to P5 in 4 laps. Not very much happening on track anymore. Tom Hackett extending that gap on Mirko. 2.2 seconds now. Seems like starting on hards for Tom Hackett was the best strategy for today. Goblin still behind Moomin Rider. Still in the DRS zone, so still in the fight for P5. Snake gets a 3-second time penalty. Orton, Adams and Advir already on a 9-second. We've seen Adams today not in one of his best shapes. Not as I see him before. There comes MJ Ryan. And Ale Ale. As Adams takes that P12 from Crytek. And look at here, the two Williams on a P7 and a P8. Alpines on a P6 and P4. Perfect points for the Constructor Championship. Ale Ale and MG Ryan. There they go, next to each other. And Ali takes the P10 spot from MJ Ryan. Krytek and Adams switching position one more time. So Tom Hackett at this moment already 3 seconds ahead of Mirko. Great drive from Tom Hackett today. 3 great qualifying sessions from the Mercedes driver. Three laps to go in the Australian Grand Prix. Round 1 of 13 here at MSC F1. Next week the drivers will be racing on the track of Singapore. Gonna be a night race as usual in Singapore. MJ Ryan, 3-second time penalty. And he had already one, so that makes a total of 6. All drivers from P10 to P16 having time penalties, and Arton by far the most with a 19-second time penalty in total. So we are heading back as there are no more fights on track to the leader of the Grand Prix, Tom Hackett. Making that gap on Mirko bigger and bigger. As he is heading almost to the last lap of this Grand Prix. Ali is still making an attempt on Wells Punch. Will not be close enough this lap. But with a 6-second time penalty, he will not do much. Here comes Ali Ali. Still want to do it for his own pride, even though he will fall back on Wellsponge thanks to his time penalties. So leader is in the last lap of the Grand Prix. So he's staying with the leader, Tom Hackett, in a Mercedes. .7 seconds clear of Mirko now. .12 rounds old mediums. And Mirko 17 laps old hards. Showed great pace in both qualifying sessions, all three of them. And shows now great pace in the race here in Australia for round 1 of MSC F1. This is your winner of the Grand Prix, Tom Hackett, followed by P2, Mirko. P3 comes Nick now across the line. He has a time penalty, but so does Kurt Maestro, so he will stay on P3. Kurt Maestro on P5 gets switched back by Moomin Rider. Goblin on P6, Jax on P7. Great team performance from the two Williams guys. The two Williams drivers. It will be good points for the Constructor Championship. Ali Ali on P9. But Wellsponge will take that spot from him. As I said, Ali Ali back to P10. MJ Ryan will be close with a 6-second time penalty on his teammate. And he will. Crytek is taking that spot back and goes to P11. MJ Ryan back to P12. Adveer to a P13. Adams to a P14. Making a nice spin across the finish line. So your leader of the Grand Prix and winner of the Grand Prix, Tom Hackett, taking the most points today in the Driver Championship. Followed by Mirko in the Ferrari, Nick in the Hayes, Moomin Rider in the McLaren, Kurt Maestro on P5, Goblin on P6, Jack on P7, Alfie on P8, P9, Wellsponge in the Red Bull, P10, Ali Ali in a Mercedes, teammate of Tom Hackett, Crytek and MJ Ryan, the two teammates of the Aston Martin, on P11 and P12, Adveer in the Red Bull on P13, P14 Adams in the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, P15 Arton in the Ferrari, P16 Angry Badger in the Hayes, P17 Lil Drips in the Kick Sauber, and P18 Cam McKenzie in the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls. Both Lil Drips and Cam McKenzie did not finish the race. As you see, quite some drivers did a 3 pit stop during the race. But looking to Tom Hackett, the best strategy for him today was starting on hards and ending on mediums. So this was it for round 1 of season 6 for MSC F1. We all see you back tomorrow for the MSC F1 Fanatec Club Sports Series. Also on this track here in Melbourne, Albert Park, Australia. See you all tomorrow.
you know